Good evening. Greetings to you, my friends around the world. I am Bola Adewara, editor, eLife magazine, and the author of this book, Discover the Secrets of Mentoring. I did this book about 2 years ago, after 3 years research. And the truth and the details that I documented in this book, I'm determined to bring it to you by reading it to you chapter by chapter. I believe that by the time I'm through with this book, you will gain a lot of things about mentoring. And today is another happy day for me because this is our second edition, and I believe that you will enjoy the session today. I will be here for just 20 minutes, and I believe that you will be able to go with us and then go along with us. I will start from chapter 1, Mentor and Protege, how it all began. The story of Mentor comes from Homer's Odyssey, a play in Greek mythology. According to Homer, when Odysseus, king of Ithaca, fought in the Trojan War, he entrusted the care of his household to Mentor, a character who offered advice and wisdom to others. Mentor helped raise Odysseus' son Telemachus while Odysseus was away to war. Mentor became Telemachus' teacher, coach, counselor, and protector by building a relationship based on affection and trust. Mentor was almost like a second dad to Telemachus. In this very first paragraph, we're telling you about how it started. When the king of Ithaca, Odysseus, was going to war, and then he put his son in charge. He put his son to be with someone, and that very person we call a mentor, and that name today has been taken as the generic thing for mentoring. Paragraph 2. After the war, Odysseus is doomed to wander vainly for 10 years in his attempt to return home. In time, Telemachus, now grown, ventures in search of his father. Athena, goddess of war and patroness of the arts and industry, assumed the form of mentor and accompanies Telemachus on his quest. Father and son reunited, and cast down will be usurpers of Odysseus' throne and Telemachus' birthright. The word mentor has therefore evolved to mean reliable counselor, comrade, teacher, and wise person. Now, who is a mentor? John Maxwell, I'm sure many of you know him, or you've heard of him, posits that a mentor is someone who teaches, guides, and lifts you up by virtue of his or her experience and insight. They are usually someone a little further ahead of you on the path, though that doesn't always mean they are older. A mentor is someone with a head full of experience and heart full of generosity that brings those things together in your life. Also, a mentor, according to the publication of OYCP, is a person or friend who guides a less experienced person by building trust and modeling positive behavior. An effective mentor understands that his or her role is to be dependable, engaged, authentic, and tuned into the needs of the protege. A mentor is a special kind of collaborator who works with others in a positive, progressive, and affirmative way so that both mentor and protege have the prospective potential to develop and mature through the association. Yet, another definition for mentoring by Rob Roden: mentoring is simply sharing your life with someone who is willing to work with you according to some mutually agreed upon terms. What do I mean by terms? something as informal as we will need to meet for a couple of hours each month or quarter, and we'll stay in contact as need. When we're talking about mentoring, mentoring is an agreement between you and someone. I need to mention this to you here, that please don't always think that your mentor should be older than you. Right here in the studio as we are talking, I had thought that maybe I know this camera, I know the details of camera thing, but there is a young man here with me who is mentoring me on how to use the camera. So a mentor could even be a child who knows something more than you. Therefore, we need to be very careful, because there's always that attitude that, my mentor should be older than me, because I don't want to say sir to him. So now let me continue with this. According to a publication by Indiana University, a mentor is an individual willing to become part of a supportive and diverse community of learners, open to sharing experience, vulnerability, and expertise. A mentor is a person who models the need to continue life as a lifelong adventure. Finally, a mentor demonstrates that learning about best practice in mentoring is the beginning for using everyday abilities and developing them into a set of paraprofessional skills demanded by ethical and professional mentoring practice. Therefore, mentoring is a relationship between a mentor and a protege with the aim of sharing knowledge and expertise, especially impacting it by mere experienced the mentor on the less experienced, the protege. It can be a formal relationship with written goals and arranged meeting times, or it can be as informal as an occasional chat or email exchange. I believe you're following what I'm discussing here. Mentoring might be informal. We will get there. It could be informal, it could be formal. That the man will call you, you will be with him, you will sit down with him, and then he will be telling you things. How do you do this? How do you do that? Sometimes it could be you observing the man there. Mentoring, according to Educos, is just in time help, insight into issues, and the sharing of expertise, values, skills, and perspective. These days, a lot of lip service is paid to mentoring, especially in the third world, where it is needed most. In a country like Nigeria, mentoring in the real sense of the word is virtually non-existent. If it exists, it is in its lowest form. This poor understanding of mentoring has led so many Nigerian youths to adore vanity as values. They comment with confidence and certainty on reputations and famous characters they know nothing about. What attracts so many people are vanities that would never endure or have genuine and lasting impact on them transgenerationally. A one-album music star is erroneously seen as a role model by so many people. A beauty queen who probably forged certificates or did not even complete her education is presented and accepted as a role model. An actor who has failed in so many marriages, who has failed so many times in their marriages, having no moral, spiritual, or intellectual foundations or worthy content that could touch lives and shape destinies, is brought before children on television as a role model who should be sought after for mentoring. After a while, the love, stardom, and adoration for the so-called role model wears off, because they can't sustain and feed the stardom or the fake pedestal on which they stand before the public. You can't give what you don't have. With this at the background, I offer to define a mentor as a person with excellent moral and professional record that could be presented as a worthy example to the innocent generation to guide them in their higher attainments more than the person whose life inspired them. Beyond this definition, a true mentor provides a psychological commitment to the person he or she is working with. This involves trust and duty of care to help the protege attain a higher level of performance, provided the protege fulfills any condition of mentoring. I'm sure you'll be hearing me mentioning the word protege. Let me explain who a protege is. Who is a protege? A protege is an apprentice, a student, someone eager to learn from someone. Someone who is desirous to learn from a person who knows and seeks their respected guardians in order to grow professionally or in all ramifications of life. Samuel Afolabi Koka, my pastor, defines protege as an apprentice. He says a protege is the person looking up to the mentor. That is, the person looking up to a superior to learn from an aspect of his life, career, or an aspect of his ministry or gifting. That's what I told you earlier. When you find someone who is doing good in a particular area that you wish to function in life, when you go to that very person, that, Oga, how did you do this? I like to know how you got to know this. You are that person's protege. If that person agrees that, well, I will tell you the secret or how I got to this level. So many of us have gone through things like this. Someone like me, I have about 3 to 4 mentors. People I saw their lives, the way they handled their wives when I was younger. I had it very rough when we were young. But I believe that I want to live or have a wonderful marriage. And I saw a man at that time who was going on the street, and we've been seeing him for many years. That this man, at that time, they were married for over 50 years. It is not a common occurrence in this part of the world to find men and women married for 50 years. I went to that man and I was asking him questions about marriage. No wonder today I am happily married. I give glory to God Almighty for that. A protege is one who is ready to submit his will to learn. He recognizes the need to develop, improve certain areas of his life, and trust his mentor to provide adequate training to meet his needs. A protege, therefore, is one who willingly submits to the godly counsel, reproof, correction, and discipline from his mentor. When you are learning from someone, I told you become a protege, you've got to submit yourself to him. Please, you are the one who wants to learn. You are the one who saw something in him and you believe that this guy could impart that very thing. I want to know how he does it. You can't go there and start bossing him, the guy. You can't go there and start telling him, no, I will see you 6 o'clock today. I will see you 7 o'clock. Oh no, if you cannot see me today, I will come tomorrow. He will not teach you anything. When you are a protege to someone, you submit, you become submissive. There are so many mentoring relationships in the world. In the biblical times, mentor relationship could be seen between Abraham and Lot, Moses and Joshua, Elijah and Elisha, Naomi and Ruth, Mordecai and Esther, Samuel and Saul, Jesus and the 12 disciples, Paul and Timothy. There are so many of them like that in the Bible. Outside the Bible, we have people like Socrates and Plato, Aristotle and Alexander the Great, Haydn and Beethoven. Many of you don't know Beethoven. Beethoven was a great musician, classical musician. We will talk about him later. Galileo and Torricelli, Freud and Jung. There are so many of them in the world. In Nigeria, the relationship between Obafemi Awolowo and his foremost political disciples like Bola Ige, Lateef Jakonde, and so many others could be cited as mentoring relationships. This is all I have for you today. And I will come back on Wednesday next week to discuss with you types of mentoring. We are going to look at formal mentoring, natural mentoring, peer mentoring, situational mentoring, supervisory mentoring, training-initiated mentoring, primary mentoring, secondary mentoring, structured and informal mentoring, active and passive mentoring, long-term, short-term mentoring, group mentoring, momentary mentoring, and then also mentoring with the social media. I ask you to join me next week, Wednesday 7 p.m. and also Friday 7 p.m. We will be bringing this broadcast to you twice every week. And I believe that you will learn something in this program, Mentoring with Bola Adewara. I hope you have gained something today. Thank you. The Lord be with you. Cheers.